Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. So as of midnight tonight, U.S. Custom and Border Protection began collecting a universal 10% tariff on imports from 86 countries. Also, if China does not retract its 34% tariffs on America, the Trump administration will impose a 104% tariff on China. China said that they're willing to take this to the very end. I guess they mean the total abolishment of both GDPs as well as both economies, because again, America has the #1 GDP in the world and China has the #2 GDP in the world. And these two GDP giants are now at war. So again, hopefully we can settle this by negotiations and both countries receive their fair share. If not, it seems like we are in a war, a long trade war. And again, the only people, okay, according to this country, who are going to hurt from this is the American citizens. Now, these actions follows President Trump's declaration of a national emergency to address the persistent U.S. trade deficit. The tariffs are part of a broader strategy to enforce reciprocal trade practices, with higher rates on specific nations set to take effect very, very soon. So again, I'm gonna keep you guys abreast and informed about this, because even though this has yet to hit home, so a lot of people are not really paying attention. They just keep hearing tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. But it's very important, in my opinion, especially if you're over the age of 25, that you pay attention to what's truly going on, because this is going to affect your bottom line. This may increase your electricity, your oil, your water, the products at the store, poultry, a lot of things, believe it or not, that we get from neighboring and also overseas countries. So I think we should pay very close attention to this, in my opinion, nonetheless. So the U.S. Supreme Court has lifted an injunction that is allowing the Trump administration to proceed with the termination of approximately 16,000 probationary federal employees across 6 agencies. So those people who thought they had a federal job, they thought they obtained a federal position within our government, 16,000 of them who were on probation are now have to go back home. And this is across 6 agencies. And the court ruled the nonprofit groups challenging the firings lack legal standings. They're stating that what Donald Trump has done is within his right, and that this is very feasible. This is very fiscal feasible in which he's doing so. And because they were on the probationary period, they have no legal cause, because there may be some arbitrary cause within the agreement that you are on a probationary terms, and you could be fired for anything, literally. And of course, a lot of these states have these at will, meaning they can come in one day and your boss is like, you know, Blacklogic, I don't know, he's just too verbal, he talks too much, you're fired. They can do that. And a lot of these states, they don't have to have any rhyme or reason. And you could try to take them to civil court and they'll just pop up the employee law or the state law stating that your employer or you can quit at any time and don't have to give them a 2-week notice, and they can fire you at any time. Now, a lot of these organizations, they will tell you, if you don't give a 2-week notice, then you won't get severance or payout, or we won't give you the remainder of your PTO days in cash. They have all these stipulations. See, when they fire you, they can fire you on a Friday, can fire you on a Thursday night without any notice. They can just fire you. But when you quit or you go to another opportunity, they want 2 weeks notice. Good old America. I still love it. I still love it. Now, several universities, including University of Washington, report that the federal government has revoked the visas of international students without prior notifications. And this unexpected action has left students in institutions scrambling for answers, as the government has now provided reasons for the cancellations. So the government is just going to universities And I believe they're finding students, okay? And I'm gonna let you hear some of this bit here, but they're finding students who are on these visas and literally canceling the visas, revoking the visas, meaning either they're going to self-deport or the government would deport them back to their countries. Wow. There really is a lot going on in our government right now. I can't really say it's an exciting time because whether you're 100% for the Trump administration or you're around 80% of the support of the Trump administration, I believe everybody has some sort of anxiety building, whether it be illegal immigration, okay? Whether it be the economy, tariffs, tax, inflation, unemployment, homelessness. Everybody is reeling with their own issues when it comes to our country at this current moment.
Current international students and 4 recent international graduates in continuing education programs. They say they did not know this was going to happen. They say the federal government systems say these students lost their visas due to immigration status violations. But they said there is no other information about the decisions, and they say there is no indication the actions are due to activism or protected free speech. Right now, the university is trying to contact the students affected to get them the resources they need, including legal counseling. In a statement they wrote in part, "We are deeply concerned about the well-being of these students and graduates and are working to support them. International students and scholars are essential and valued members of our university, and they contribute immensely to our community, state, and nation." And they say they will continue to support their success at the university.
Now, what's funny about that is it kind of made me think that when Donald Trump was running for president for the 47th, and if I was a student on a visa and I knew that it was expired or it was expiring, it should have been some sort of indicator that I need to renew my student visa or I need to get a new visa altogether, maybe a work visa, depending on what status I'm in. I'm in my graduate year. I'm about to graduate. Nonetheless, I don't think none of these students who are now getting their visas revoked really thought that far ahead. Like, what if Donald Trump wins and he is making very certain that he comes through with all his promises? Now, especially when he got into office and he started to deport illegal immigrants, that would have been another indicator for me. If I'm a student on a visa, I'm like, oh, I'm fine, I'm on a visa. Well, your visa is expired. So now you have a window where you should renew it, or you should have renewed it way before that window. But nonetheless, that still was an indicator. So I'm believing that their visa status was expired. So instead of allowing them to renew their visas, the government totally revoked it. So they will have to apply again. So because when your ID, in some regards, is expired, no more than 90 days or something like that, you can kind of just renew it. But if it's 120 days past its expiration date, you have to apply all over again. It could have been something similar to that. But again, they had a lot of chances to really have an opportunity to renew their visas, and they didn't. So again, I know a lot of times people who look at things very democratically, they will try to make some excuse for it. But again, we are human beings. We're supposed to be very, very intelligent and forward thinking. I would like to believe that most people think at least one step ahead. You got your geniuses who can think 10 steps ahead, like those chess masters. They thinking 10 steps ahead. Me, possibly, maybe 3 to 5. But I don't think they did that. I don't think they did that at all. Oil prices have fallen to 4-year lows, but I don't know if that has transferred into gas prices. Now, in the past day or so, the gas prices in my area did drop 7%, but it's still higher than it was prior to President Trump coming into office. And again, I know things were going to be rocky. I know things were going to be shaky. Anytime a new president comes into office, regardless of what they said, regardless of what they did, the market, okay, the investing market, as well as things on an infrastructural level, fluctuate in our first 60 to 90 days. That's because investors, businessmen, organizations are really trying to gauge what the president is going to do over his next 4 years. That's why they really follow presidents in their first 100 days. That's why the markets are up and down. That's why your bills are up and down. That is why gas is up and down. So hopefully, once he reaches 100 days, things will start to subside. Okay, I want to look at the better part of things. I can always be a doomsday voice box. I could be a doomsday voice box where I'm just speaking, oh, the economy, why is Donald Trump doing this? I try to be positive because, again, when you speak and you exude positive energy, it's attractive. People become contagious, and hopefully this grows to people to where the economy bounce back in these countries. And a lot of countries have come to the table. South Korea, Japan, they're flying into America. Either prime ministers or dignitaries of their state are coming to America to negotiate on these tariffs. And again, it made me think about thinking 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps ahead. These countries sat back and waited till these tariffs was on his last leg of being implemented and being executed. And they just waited. I would have came to America as soon as he said it. President Trump, what can we do to make both sides happy? What are your thoughts on this? And someone who seems to be a very stark negotiator, if you ever read the book, The Art of Negotiation, very important book, I believe everybody should read it. You should learn how to negotiate. 2 types of negotiations, in my opinion. There's 2 types of negotiations, in my opinion. One type is a negotiation where both parties walk away from the deal as if they lost. That's usually the fairest deal you'll ever get in negotiations. He felt like he lost something. I felt like I lost something. The other side of negotiation is to have them to feel as though they got over on you, where really you got the better part of the deal. See, countries, businesses, organizations don't always reveal their current status, especially when negotiation for contracts, whatever it may be. They never reveal their current status. You may say, well, we see that your yearly revenue is 9.6 billion. It could be 10 billion. But they will give them inaccurate. I don't want to say false information, inaccurate information. So they have a bargaining chip, so to speak, as if the country's revenue is 9.6 billion a year. So if this deal is going to cost us half of our revenue, they're going to feel as though they're getting 50% of the profits on the other side, where actually they're not. Because of that extra 400 billion, they're actually receiving majority of the profit. So again, it's just the way how you negotiate. So as we look at these things really transforming and metamorphosizing within our government, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Elon Musk, because reports indicate that the Department of Government Efficiency is utilizing artificial intelligence to monitor communications of federal employees. And don't forget that Elon Musk, out of all his companies, he also has an AI company called XAI. And from the last time I was checking my reports, XAI is in the workings of buying X, also known as Twitter. But nonetheless, he has his own AI company. And supposedly, allegedly, he's using this AI company to spy on government employees, on federal government employees, that is, to ensure that they're doing their jobs. And he is specifically targeting anti-Trump or anti-Musk sentiments, people who've made any comment, any rumor, raised a question. That's what they're stating. And this surveillance has raised concerns among cybersecurity experts and government. Because listen, now they have an option on phones. And Gemini just updated this. I just want to really, let you guys know about this technology. Let me come full screen here. So I have the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I'm a big Android guy. I know you guys have Apple. I like both, okay? I just prefer this. I hate the whole cell phone wars. But nonetheless, okay, you know, you got your eye scan. I'm gonna show you something very quickly when it comes to AI. Here's my home screen. I hit this button here, Gemini pops up. You see that? Gemini pops up. Now, Gemini has an option for you to share the screen with your phone. I'm just giving you an example. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna share my screen with Gemini. Start. So now, Gemini, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. It's 6:49 p.m. in McKinney, Texas, and you have a bunch of app folders. What can I help you with?
How many apps do I have on my screen, Gemini?
Okay, I counted 12 folders on your screen. Did you need help opening one?
What apps can you open?
So I can't actually open the apps on your phone. To do that, you'll have to tap the screen yourself.
So basically, he can embed AI into governmental systems. Because listen, Gemini has already done it, where I can just keep this on my phone at all times. I wonder, Gemini, can you translate Chinese for me?
Well, I can't translate Chinese for you right now, but you could try downloading a translation app from the Google Play Store.
Can you do any translations of any language?
I can't use Google Translate yet when we are live. For now, going live is great for things like chatting, finding answers, or brainstorming new ideas.
Okay, last question, Gemini. I want to know if you know how many miles there are on Earth. I believe it's 24,901 miles across the Earth. What is it?
You're right. The circumference of the Earth is about 24,901 miles. That's a long way to walk.
All right.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't have any more questions, Gemini. But I wanted to show you guys that because he can easily embed AI into applications, governmental software, through the firewalls, through the VPNs. So again, the capability is already there. I just want to give you guys a quick demo so you guys kind of understand the technology altogether. So that is what's going on with DOGE. They are now allegedly spying on federal employees. I had a page up here. Let me see if I can pop this back up here, because in this particular story, President Trump has abruptly dismissed Air Force General Timothy Howell, the director of the National Security Agency and head of the U.S. Cyber Command. And this unexpected firing has prompted demands from Congress for an explanation, as no reason has been provided by the White House or Pentagon. So this is one of our service members. Again, he's a 3-star general. I wonder what law did he violate? And here's the thing, that when conservatives or Republicans get into office, and for you, those who may be Republicans, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not an independent. I'm just a guy with a very neutral perspective on a lot of these situations. Because again, I don't belong to a party. I believe the only way to speak truth to power is to be on the outside looking in when it comes to politics and our government. But that's me. But when we have a vet like myself, and I'm looking at this 3-star general, if anybody, I would want our service members to always receive a fair deal. Now, if he said something that was insubordinate or did something that was insubordinate, then of course that's causation for him to be let go, for him to be fired. But when it comes to our, those who risk their lives to protect us, I don't care what religion, what race. If you're out there on the front lines, the battle lines, supporting combat operations, I will always want them to get a fair trial. Okay, they're the 1% of our country. So again, this general here has been fired and he has been let go. Last but not least, I see Jermaine Anderson in the room. Thank you, Jermaine Anderson, for moderating, sir. I do appreciate that. We're going on the last subject here. Are you guys familiar with this story? I'm not going over the story, but I wanted to pose the funding and helping this young man and his family to fight this case. Now, this case has a lot of different communities in an uproar because, again, I've even seen white people come out in support of this young man. At first, and I'm not going to lie, I thought the mass amount of white people were coming in support of the so-called bully. Now, again, Anthony, he had Carmelo, that is, Carmelo stabbed this guy in an altercation that they have under the other guy's tent. So a lot of people from different communities were coming out, taking sides either against or for. But I did see a great majority of actually white people come out and knew the other kid that he got into an altercation with. And they were talking about bullying and this has a history. So I don't know how they're bullying him because they go to different schools. I don't know the story. So again, take this with a grain of salt. I have read through the details and evidence. The story is still not clear, but of course we're going to know background. We're going to know if they ever came in contact with one another. But I raise this for people who may want to donate. Okay, they may want to donate and support this case. But again, that's on your own accord. But nonetheless, I thank you guys for joining me here this evening. You guys have a great and wonderful night. This is Blacklogic.